So hello fellow Earthlings, this is Earthling 6455463728, and it is sad, I suppose, for the Hong Kong people. I would not want to be living there. I can understand the probably the position that they would be in, but I don't see how it was going to end any other way. Hong Kong is a part of China, and we see how China has treated the Uyghurs. I presume part of the reason is that the Uyghurs, the minority group, were resisting how they were being felt that they were being treated by the Chinese government. But unfortunately, you can't fight fire directly with fire. When you don't have that kind of power, you can't really resist. I think there were riots in the Uyghur territories. Many people would not have cared, I suppose, and so the media would not have paid much attention. As well as the fact that China would have repressed that kind of information, both for itself with respect to other minorities and other groups across China. Tibet is a good example. So I think that the Hong Kong people really played it as much as they could, and I understand their frustration, but I don't know how it could have ever ended any other place, any other way. But there's Tiananmen Square. Everybody seems to, maybe they thought they were above that somebody would intervene, like the US militarily. I don't know how that was supposed to happen when the US did not go in there for Tiananmen Square. Nobody went into Rwanda when things were happening in Rwanda. Nobody went into China to save the Uyghurs or to save Tibet. So I don't know how they figured. I guess they figured because it was Hong Kong and the West, people could see exactly what was happening. And the fact that, almost 50% of the population were involved in the protests, that they thought that it would end differently. But there's no other way that it could have ended. If we look at other forms of resistance, like Martin Luther King or Gandhi, the protesters probably would have been much better off trying to run a similar campaign. Unfortunately, because they were Hong Kong and not mainland China, they weren't going to get mainland Chinese people, security officers, tanks, etc., coming in to do the kinds of things that Martin Luther King or Gandhi would have experienced, that would have caused, furthered their cause for that matter. But at the same time, seeing as it's China, it was never really going to end in the way that it ended for, let's say, Martin Luther King. Well, in the end, he died, and Malcolm X died, and the Black Panther Party was completely destroyed, and crack cocaine was introduced into the black population. So I guess that didn't really help. But black people were able to get a lot of civil rights benefits. But again, that would have been because of TV and the fact that they were being beaten ruthlessly. China was never, ever, ever going to give up its property, which was Hong Kong. And Gandhi was an Indian in India. So the UK could always give India independence. But Hong Kong was never going to get independence. I mean, aside from the fact of how valuable Hong Kong is as a financial area in the world with its stock market, etc. Aside from that, China doesn't want to end up looking like the US looks with respect to Afghanistan. The US doesn't have any choice in the end because Afghanistan is not a US territory. So the US eventually will have to leave the same way that it left Vietnam, with probably nothing any different. Especially would not look very good. But Hong Kong is China. So it was never going to end any other way than this, because they were never going to be given their independence, and they were, never really going to, I guess that's the only way out, because it's either independence or what? Because it's part of China. It was always part of China. It's not part of the UK. And finally, it's a little bit, it's from my perspective, I don't know about anybody else's perspective, but the UK has said, and maybe some other countries will as well, say that they will allow people from Hong Kong to move to China, provided they meet the requirements. The UK left, or is still leaving the EU, because they don't want immigrants in their country. They want to control who comes to their country. And now they're saying that they're going to allow immigrants into their country, minorities who may or may not even speak English. I don't think so. I think it's a very nice show, but I don't even think they'll take 10,000 people. I don't see that you would make, throw your life into chaos over immigration, and then turn around and welcome the very reason why you threw your life into chaos. That doesn't make any sense at all. But we'll see. But I'm pretty sure that it's not going to help most of the Hong Kong people, considering that there are millions of them. Anyway, guys, wish me luck. You can like or unlike, comment, subscribe, and or share. That's lux. Or you can do nothing. It's not preferred, but you could. Peace.